Good morning, community. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Stroke of Genius podcast Survivor Experience. This morning I'm saying was gonna have on Gordon Pettit, stroke survivor and author. Now he's not in agreement. He tried to get on early and was having some technical issues. So I don't know, this may be a totally ad-lib show. I had no idea. But let's get started because you know what? Isn't about just me or you, or it's about us. It's about us just coming together, supporting each other, and saying hello. So let's get into it. But I'd like to also remind you that intro was really part of what's happening. But in May is Raising Stroke Awareness Month. So post a lot of Raising Stroke Awareness content on your timeline, share with your friends, share it on social media. If you need some content, some Raising Stroke Awareness content, get a hold of me. I got a ton of it. So I think the main thing is find something on fast. Face drooping, um, I can't get this. Now, prove stroke survival carries with it a memory deficit. I, arm drooping. I forgot what A stood for. Isn't that terrible? So face drooping. So you're watching somebody, their face looks odd. The arm had to have. You think it might be in a stroke? Have them hold their arms out straight in front of them. If they're having a stroke, they will not be able to hold one up the same. One will droop. So arm weakness. Speech. I have dysarthria, which is slurred speech. But when someone's having a stroke, in like right now, they like to begin to show signs of speech issues. So have them repeat, Sally sat by the seashore. They won't be able to say that. They'll just slur it and it'll be terrible. So remember to say that. And T, fast. T is time. If you at all even question whether someone's having a stroke, make sure that you call 911 right away. Time is brain loss. When you have a stroke, the time that it takes to get the ambulance there, get to the hospital, is all brain loss. Because, the oxygen has been deprived of the brain, of the human brain, and the longer it takes to get them to the hospital, more cells die. Let's see what we got there. I think Bryce was out there earlier. I don't know. Bryce says he burns the coffee. I think, right? He's brewing coffee. Great. Coffee's one thing that I love my coffee in the morning. But anyway, I've emailed Gordon, he invited he has technical issues, but we'll get him on. Because I really wanted to show you one. Says he's not here. I'm going to show you what this guy went through, had a stroke, and then now went on to be an author, a published author. Here's what his book looks like. Take a look at that. There is a difference between a stroke survivor and a stroke thriver. It doesn't mean that I want to talk a little bit about that. Let me get rid of this on the screen. But I want to talk to you why there is still disconnected. I'm not sure, Gordon, if you can hear me, but you're using a different device. I didn't know. Use a cell phone or a tablet. I'll tell you. Use a cell phone or a tablet. Okay. Guys, for way better, I kind of do this stuff. I'm gonna try to message him on Pettit. See if I can give me a cell phone. Because normally people have trouble getting on this platform. They're using a computer and all right, there we go. Sorry about the guys, get big with me. But it's not God's fault. There's some technical issue. I have no idea what it is. But I want to talk to you a little bit about why I do what I do. Why is it I help find satisfaction and purpose in helping a stroke survivor community? When I first had my stroke, my brain injury, my stroke, I was very dark, felt my life's over, suicidal, wasn't good. It was not good. The only thing that kept me from being committing suicide, not only was I half paralyzed and was trying to figure out a way out of my half paralyzed carcass and wheelchair up the ramp, number closet were kept my 40s bed was. But really, what kind of made me not do it, I just couldn't leave Rebecca, my wife, like that. I really couldn't. I couldn't have her find me in the bathroom, brains in the shower, and all over splattered. It wouldn't get good. But I want to talk just a moment about the darkness I was in and why I do what I do. That darkness was probably the most paralyzing, the most hopeless I've ever felt in my life. And I knew there's a lot of stroke survivors out there that still live in that darkness, isolation, just surviving, just treading water, just breathing air, basically, have no purpose in life. I am telling you, I have discovered and found a way to get past that darkness. Not easy, but it's why I do what I do. I didn't want anybody, any one of you survivors, to go through what I went through. The darkness that came out that was back then, I learned to overcome. And it really, I know it sounds straight, really amazing, but it's in your mindset. It's a way you think. Because isolation is typical for stroke survivors, but you don't have to be isolated in your mind. And what happens is stroke happens to a person. So basically, they sit in one place. So they don't really have a purpose in life. They don't have a passion in life. And what I discovered in my journey, that your mindset, the way you think, and what you think directly impacts the future of your life. How much value, how much purpose do you have? For me, I realized that my purpose in this life, the reason that God gave me a second chance, was to be with you, to help you, and to do what they're doing right now. I mean, do a podcast, build Stroke TV media. And it really is my purpose in life. And I would have never found that purpose and I not came into my darkness by self-isolation. And that's really what you want to find your purpose, a more robust and deeper value to your life. Because I assure you, if you woke up this morning as a stroke survivor, a brain injury survivor, as a survivor in general, you have purpose. You have to have a reason to be alive. It's not just survive. You know, I picture a stroke like this. It's like a man in a vast ocean treading water, just trying to stay alive. But keep his head above the water. That is what a stroke survivor is. Kick, keep your head above the water, don't die. Well, the only problem is that stroke survivor knows if he stops kicking, he's going to sink. And if he sinks, he's going to die. By telling you that if you could change the way you think, not just say positive things, not be positive, but actually change the way you think and change your life. You will actually stop being a survivor. You'll cross that line of being a thriver. And what do I mean by that? You stop living your life for you. You just live your life to help as many people as can survive stroke. And singing to them May is really Stroke Awareness Month. I want all of your purpose, all of your effort, all of your energy that you have that you can give. Raise stroke awareness. Again, if you need stroke awareness material, let me know. Message me and a message to you. But I want to tell you the reason, Bryce says, got to reinforce mindset daily. Really, thank you, Bryce. That's a really good point. It is a daily battle that we go through. Attitude-wise, I go through it every day. I go through it every day. You've got to wake up in the morning and just tackle the morning, tackle the day. And I say positive things to myself. I pray. I seek God. I do. And I just pray for my brothers and sisters. If you want to do anything, shift the way you think and get you out of that just turning water life. Pray for your brothers and sisters, stroke survivors around the world. Take 15 minutes to pray for us. You will see that shift in your mind, shifting it from yourself, treading water and being isolated, to now you're praying for other people around the world. Just that one act will begin to change the way you think. You like to wake up every morning with a purpose, like I do, and have for many, many years. But I do not want you to feel stuck. Stroke has a way of making somebody believe they're stuck. They are the way they are. No, is that true? You are what you think you are. So the way you are, stroke survivor, is the way you think. It's simple as that. Where your energy flows, your focus goes. If you focus on your life being kind of the same old, you don't ever think outside your comfort zone. I think one of the biggest changes I made in my life was getting myself out of the comfort zone. I remember I don't know how many out there knew Roland.Gaga. Roland.Gaga was mentor of mine. And I remember I said, Roland says, you need to do a show or podcast. I think it was, it could have been a podcast, could have been a show. You need to do a show. My walls I built began to get tight. I said, Roland, there's a way I could do a show online. I don't talk clearly. I just talk funny. He said, Aaron, the way you talk will become the way people remember you. And I took that step out of my comfort zone. See, so many stroke survivors get in a rut. The stroke puts them in a rut. And they do the same thing day in and day out. Same exact thing. That's right. That's a comfort zone. I'm saying if you want to change the way your life is, survivor, you must break out of that comfort zone. You must do something different. I heard someone say one time, do what you've always done, you'll always be what you've always been. Do the same thing you've always done, you'll always be what you've always been. Change something. Change the way you are, and you will change your future. You will change the way your life is. Get out of that comfort zone. I remember, like I was telling you, on my speech issue, but a coordination issue, but I kept telling myself, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. But now reality was the biggest wall I was going to climb in my true survival life was the one that was going to build up my own mind. Let me repeat that, true survivor. The biggest wall you're going to climb in your life is the one you build in your own mind. It's that wall that tells you can't. I can't do this. Oh, Jimmy Bear's here. Jamie Bear from the United Kingdom. Thank you for bringing out the Jamie. I appreciate it, brother. Good to see you out there. But so many times stroke walls us in, isolates us. And that word I can't becomes common. But I'm going to quote Henry Ford. Henry Ford was not a stroke survivor, but he knew the mind of the human being. Let me quote, I think I got this right. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, both are correct. Let me repeat that. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, both are correct. What does that mean? I'm saying you in your mind, this is how powerful your mind is. If you in your mind wake up in the morning, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't talk right, I can't do a podcast, I can't have people, that can't flow easily from stroke mind, from stroke brain. You want to make sure, and if you keep saying it, you reinforce it, it will be a reality. But the truth is, it's just simple and far more powerful, far more impactful to say, I can. See, you shift that mindset, and that's the beauty of that darkness and isolation. You begin to tell yourself, I can make a difference. I can host a podcast. I can. Thank you, Bryce. That's very nice. He's been Bryce, a good brother of mine, you guys know. But he was say my speech has to be here. That's very nice, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you. And at East North Carolina, we got Jamie Parrish in the United Kingdom. Thank you for being out there, guys. But, I really want to encourage you. If there's anything when your mind tells you or limits you, your body may limit you. I mean, I'm not walking. I'm in a wheelchair for now. I plan on walking someday. In fact, a lot of you think I'm trying to be a cowboy, wearing a cowboy hat, but that's not true. It reminds me that I have a dream. I have a goal of riding a horse before I die. I have a goal of riding a horse someday. I have a goal of walking someday. Those are goals. Those things keep you from being isolated. Whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, both are correct. So I could sit here and move research, say, I can't walk, I can't ride a horse, I can't. Well, watch how easy it is to flip that mindset. I can walk, I will walk someday. I can ride a horse someday. Wow, my future just changed. You see it? I mean, this literally changed by the words that came out of my mouth. So I'm saying you hold power to change your life right here today. And it all starts in your mind. Yep, part of my journey, I've been a stroke survivor, which I plan to write a book. Again, a goal I have of writing a book before I die called Stroke, The Journey Within. Because really, stroke has become a journey inside my mind. But I've learned there's a tremendous power in your mind. I'm telling you, if you always do what you've always done, you will always be what you've always been. Let me try to repeat it. If you always do what you've always done, a routine you can do it every day, you will always be what you've always been. Nothing changes. Day in, day out, every day is the same. But if you change the way you think, if you change one thing, change something, break the routine up, you will then find the future changing. See, sometimes I hear people call them, they act like stroke victims. They sit there and stroke gets hold up and keeps them in one place. But the only difference in me and you, my brothers and sisters, is that I changed the way I think. That's it. That is the only difference. I'm telling you that you have the power in your mind to create your destiny, change your destiny, change your future. I can tell myself I will never walk. Well, guess what? That's right. Or I could say I will walk someday. Guess what? That's right too. Remember Henry Ford quote, what they think you can and what they think you can't. Both are correct. I'm just saying that you want to be different. You want your life to be different. You want your body to be different. You can. Mine is taking, I'm 14 years post stroke. And for those that know me, I have been, I've come a long way. I know it's amazing. And yeah, I don't walk anymore. I don't walk for now. But I am made vast improvements than I was before. In fact, the very thing I thought when I heard myself, I cannot host a podcast because I can't talk. When I stepped out and put myself, expanded my comfort zone. took myself out of my comfort zone and put myself into something I thought I was going to really flop with. It became my therapy. Right now, I'm doing therapy. I'm trying to speak slowly. I'm trying to articulate. I'm trying to. So, what I'm saying is, like, stepping out of comfort zone today, stroke survivor. It doesn't mean to put yourself in dangerous situations. If you have a falling problem, you don't want to stand up. But definitely put yourself online, do a live, do something. You want a live stream? I'll teach you how to live stream. I'll do it, whatever you need, I'll be there. Well, I know I've been talking for about minutes. Oh, there, well, there he finally got on, but I get to do it. Shows up as over, Gordon.
What?
It's 9:30. The show is over.
Well, I'm sorry, but nothing worked.
Well, if I had to guess, what device? If you and I met, what device did you use? You must be using a different device.
I got a new MacBook.
Yeah, there you go.
So why
There you
would that? Yeah, but ever since I got the new one, I've had no trouble at all with
Well,
Zoom.
with Zoom is so easy. Zoom is very basic. Anyway, let's it work. We're gonna have you on next opening. Put you on a way. I've already pulled a beat up your book. For everybody that knows, this is Gordon. Do you pronounce your last name Pettit?
Yes.
All right, Gordon. Here's your book, and I put links to Gordon's book in the. So if there's anything, guys, check it out. It's a great book. I'm sure. I've emailed Gordon several times and realized, man, there's of course he's not there because many can put the words together like no other. But Gordon, I don't want you to worry about it. So what we'll do, I'll let you introduce yourself. But let's do next opening again. Let's try it again. We'll run a pre-test.
Yes.
So we do people because there are some people that will be not watching. Introduce yourself.
Oh, you want me to now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is this live now?
Yeah, we're live, bro.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Gordon Pettit, and I am a stroke survivor. And 10 years ago, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I've always been slim and positive minded and fit and hardworking and usually happy. And I have two sons, and then my wife and I have four grandsons. And so we're really content with life. And what do you want me to?
Well, we only got a few minutes here,
Okay.
because our show's almost over. I've been doing a podcast myself, but it started at 9 o'clock, goes to 9 to 9:30 my time. 2 minutes.
Okay. So
But
what I'd like.
Gordon, let me ask you a question because I really want. Because you're one of the people like me, where you didn't stay a stroke survivor, you became a stroke survivor. In fact, you wrote a book, and I just showed it on screen. What do you think got you to that teetering point where it became from a stroke victim to a stroke survivor? What got you there?
If I understand you correctly, and this is part of my aphasia, is my brain injury. And sometimes I don't fully understand. I hear very well, but my brain injury sometimes causes me to have trouble understanding words. And how I got here was writing the book. And I wrote the book to help other people like me and like you that have had a stroke to know how to really how to survive first and then thrive.
Yeah, because there is a period of time that we go through. We are stroke survivors where we're just surviving. But there is a difference between stroke survivor and stroke thriver.
Yes, definitely. No question about it. I work very diligently on a day-to-day basis, reading positive, uh, inspirational books, including my Bible. And uh, the day after I had a stroke, excuse me, as usual. And it involves each part of a person and their health, uh, because our minds are very affected by our diet and whether we exercise or not, even if it's just walking. And that's all I could do for a number of years. And then when I could, then I would go to the gym and just, I wouldn't lift any weights, but etc. And then the other thing is I avoided talking with anybody except my mother, and I had moved in with her. And my book goes into detail about each part of what I'm saying, but to have one person I could lean on really, really helped. And those were my two sisters for several years. And so that way they understood and they were patient enough with me to continue to ask questions and ask them to repeat whatever they said many times. So that's really important.
I bet the patient did you. I'm curious. You said your face. Oh, now no. Saying you right. I received your bio from you. It was written like an author. I'm sick on man because my goal is to write a book someday called The Stroke the Journey Within. And I saw your bio come in. I was reading the way it's written. It was pretty written like an author. So I sense no facial with you, but how bad was your face in the beginning?
Oh, it was terrible. I was frustrated many times every day because I would say words I didn't want to say, trying to say what I thought I was saying. So sometimes I would get angry with myself. And occasionally I would get impatient with my dear sweet mom, trying to communicate and trying to understand her. Normally, it's very easy to understand my mom, but I just couldn't. And so sometimes I would just, in the middle of trying to understand something she said, I would get impatient and I would just walk out of the room. I gave up. I would give up many, many times. And so then I could read, although sometimes I couldn't understand regular words and words that I knew, basic words like wishing. Oh, I used to mix up the words wishing, watching, words that started with W for some reason. And then I had to relearn just basic words again. But I tried each day and I rested a lot. I took 2 naps a day before dinner because I didn't have enough energy to do much of anything but eat, sleep, and help my mom.
Now I'm curious. I'm doing some Gordon, and I'm going to bring in talk a little bit. We'll go more into detail on your story next show we do together. That's podcast do together. But I know a sister named Sherry Patterson who has aphasia real bad. I think aphasia is one of the coolest side effects or effects stroke has on a person because scrambles are thinking, scrambles are with their words. They can't communicate properly. What made you go? Because your face is near to nothing now. What did you do that made your face better?
I'm sorry.
What did you do? What therapy did you do? Whatever did you do to make your face better? You know?
Okay. Well, soon after it happened, uh, the let's see, let me think. I'm trying to think in order of things that happened. Well, first, one of my sisters said, "You need to go," because I love to work all my life, but I couldn't. And one of my sisters said, "You need to go to Social Security and get disability." And once I understood her, then early one morning, I went to the Social Security department, and it took a whole day to wait to see somebody. And I finally got to see somebody, and I said, I have a disability. And I explained as best as I could that I couldn't communicate. And so she said, "Well, then you need to see a speech therapist person that knows enough about that can work with you so that we can get enough information, etc." So it took all day, but I'm so glad I went. It took almost 5 months before I
Wow.
could get disability and Social Security. That
To
I
get
was glad.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it took and because I had bills, and at that point I was what's the word separated from 30-year marriage, and so then I went to a speech a neuropsychologist. No. Let's see. I didn't get any disability income until I had to get, the state required 2 experts to qualify me that I couldn't work. So I had to go to a psychologist, a neuropsychologist, and I had to take a couple of months of testing. And he had no doubt that I had aphasia, and then he was helping me. Then I had to go see a neurologist to qualify that I was disabled. And he said, "You definitely are." And he said, "I'll have to turn in all the forms, and then you'll see you'll eventually you'll find out if you're actually disabled." And it took some time. I don't remember how long, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then I was qualified. So that was a big deal. That was a really big deal because my mom had been a widow for 12, 15 years at that time on fixed income. And so let's see. And so that was something. And then and my sisters continued to help me. I couldn't talk to people on the telephone as they tried to my creditors, and I tried to understand and explain. And how many times, I don't know, 100 times or more on the telephone, I had to explain to people, "I don't understand what you're saying. I have aphasia." And aphasia is, I'd give them the definition, and you're going to have to get somebody that can talk slowly. Well, I would ask them first, and then they would still talk fast. I couldn't understand them. And so
I know.
so frustrated.
I know.
I would raise, I would yell at them, "You're not listening to me. I can't deal with this." And I would hang up time and time again. And so fortunately, one of my sisters, 9 years younger, and she was working full time with 2 young boys at home. And then my other sister would come, and she would stay 2 or 3 days at a time, and she would help me with that kind of thing, and as well as encourage me. And And whenever I get upset with, because I just get so frustrated trying to understand people, and I could speak clearly, but the thing was, without aphasia, I would talk, or what I thought I was saying would not come out. And so I would get frustrated with somebody not understanding what I said. I said, well, I speak, you can understand. Can't you understand me? No, because you're using words that don't make sense.
Yeah, right.
And so, so then I went to a speech therapist. At the time, my insurance covered it because I had been working 2 jobs before the stroke, and the speech therapist was great. And I mentioned that in my book. And what I wrote down didn't make sense. I thought I was writing down the words in my mind. It didn't come out. And then I would read it, and it didn't make sense to me either.
Oh, no.
What's going on? And the speech therapist, he explained it all very, he was great.
So you did both your healing on your fascia with the speech therapist. You really can't promote any routine you have at home. Like, what I want you to do, Gordon, is if you would, for my sister, Sherry Patterson, who has aphasia just like you did in the beginning, what could you do on a day-to-day basis at home that you found to be effective in your treatment?
Are you talking about between seeing a therapist?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing, it involves a number of things. First of all is the basic to survive, as I mentioned before, and making sure that I got plenty of rest. My energy was nil, and diet, drink lots and lots of water, and because of what happened, I went to see a neurologist, and I don't remember who told me all this. I guess in the hospital, they didn't tell me much because I couldn't understand much of anything before I came home. But my sisters helped me understand. They Googled and helped me find out, well, what do I need and what I need to do. And so, but as far as day to day, again, you're talking about soon after it happens, right, Aaron?
Yeah, anytime.
Okay. Well, rest is super key. Diet's important. Walking for several years before I started going to the gym, like 3 years. I didn't even go to my church that I'd been a member of at that time for 29 years, and I love my church and I love being an usher, etc. And I knew I couldn't go. I couldn't go there. I couldn't really go anywhere and expect to communicate with people. And many times I tried. So I also learned, okay, don't go anywhere, because I could drive fine, but don't go anywhere more than a few miles to go somewhere, because if I had trouble communicating, which I always did, trying to buy groceries, and they got to know me after a while, so they learned to be patient with me, but go to the same place where people learn to know my limitations. Don't take a trip. Help myself feel good about myself a little bit I could. And so I would read books, but only a few pages at a time, so I didn't get too tired. I would watch. Another thing, my mother's physical therapist would come to our house, and I asked her, "What can I do?" She said, watch Wheel of Fortune. So
Ah,
it would help me remember words and
wow, great advice.
and practice writing just words, one word at a time. And whenever I got frustrated, as soon as I would get frustrated, stop and don't persist. I still this day, I persist uh, too much sometimes
Yeah.
while I work. I work full time now, but not in a store. But I do try to reach people in my sales, either on the telephone, depends on the person. If they're easy to understand. If they don't, then I'll write an email. But when I write an email, I keep it short and I repeat reading what I say. And regularly, what I write in an email either doesn't make sense or I thought I put in enough words so it makes sense. And even now, sometimes, not all the time, like in the beginning, but so I've learned the hard way. And I go to a speech therapist once a year, and that helps a lot. And this last one, third time's a charm. She was the best ever. And she helped me to understand and how to communicate and don't try to talk as fast as other people like I'm doing sometimes now. I'm excited to talk to you and anybody that's hearing this because I'm excited that I can help people. And that's another thing. I didn't used to be able to talk very fast because I couldn't understand people fast. So I tried to help them by talking slowly. So they would talk to me slowly, and usually they didn't. They didn't get it.
I do the feeding, bro.
Yeah. Oh, it's a pain, but in time, I want to what's the word? I want to what's the word, honey? I want to um, okay, I'll do a workaround to help people understand it's important not to give up when talking to somebody. Oh, and don't talk in a group.
Oh, yes.
It took me years to communicate with success of any kind. To one, don't try to talk to anyone more than one at a time. And sometimes I began telling people, please don't interrupt me while I'm trying to communicate. And I try not to interrupt anybody, but at the beginning, I interrupted everybody. As soon as they'd say a few words and I didn't understand them, I'd say, hold up.
Uh-huh.
And then I learned they didn't like that, most people. And then I would, even to these are people that I got to know and I already knew before and after with my men's group once a week, because they would forget until the next week. And so then I started writing on a whiteboard. I'm saying this, trying to help them understand and help me to understand. And then they would correct me, and that was okay with people I knew. So it takes a lot of persistence, a lot of prayer, a lot of support from one or two or three people, whether it's family or close friends. Oh, that's another thing. And I would get all kinds of things, and I didn't have a filter mentally and with my mouth. I would tell people whatever I thought, and it might be mean or it just come out. And so, and I would tell people off.
Yeah.
If they were mean or if they said something I didn't like, I just tell them. And then I had somebody one time uh, uh, told me I better shut up. And he was a lot bigger than me. So that's another thing. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. And that's why I learned I need to take somebody with me when I would go someplace that they didn't know me.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're not thinking of a bodyguard. So
Yeah.
I have dyslexia. And it's very, that it's not aphasia, meaning I can formulate the words fine. But I have slurred speech, sounds like I'm drunk most of the time. But that is, I realize after talking to you, the groups, the most big rooms full of people, no, I get up. But I had the same filter deficit. In fact, they were to kick me to the hospital because I verbally assaulted many of staff members verbally because I didn't have a filter.
Yeah.
I can relate. But I appreciate really Todd. I really appreciate it. Now Sherry Patterson, if you listen to this, go back and listen. I heard several things Gordon did during his rebuilding his life, his speech after his aphasia. And if I look at you now, Gordon, see this podcast, you writing a book, took you out of your comfort zone and became your therapy, like my therapy. Writing a book and doing a podcast to me is therapy.
Oh, yeah. No question. No question. And if someone is prompted or thinks it would be a good idea to write a book, whether the book is like a memorandum for a family member or friend, it might be 10, 20, 30 pages long. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. And then it takes editors, whether my wonderful wife, she was so wonderful to be patient enough and help me to write my book. And my book's only 100 pages long with a large font.
Yeah.
When I wrote it, it was about 130 or 40 pages, but she and a professional editor that charges money, but there was a point where I needed that help, and he slashed paragraphs.
Yeah.
And I thought was really good. Wow. Well, it turned out a lot better. Even I agreed.
Well, I look forward to writing my book Sunday, and I'll talk to you privately about that because I think you can help me. But, Gordon, I really appreciate taking that time. The show's over, but it's time to close it. But I want everybody to know out there the big being at Gore's book because I think Stroke Survivor writes a book and take it from Stroke Survivor to Stroke Diver. I'll also put the link, Amazon link, into the description of the video.
Right.
So you'll be able to order this book right online, and I'll take you right there. But there it is. Gordon, I cannot thank you. I'm looking forward to getting more details in that conversation. I'm glad we talked.
Oh, I'm very
We'll figure out what's going on, and we'll make sure we do some pre-tests before we go on.
okay.
Again, thank you so much for being here, bro. Thank you for sharing some of your story with us, and you are making a difference. I appreciate that.
Well, you are too, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right. Good. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Look
Bye.
forward to it.
Bye.